Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Chopper History. Today, brought to you by Indian Motorcycles and Lawn Tigers. We got a lot to get to today, as well as we have an awesome guest today, Billy Lane from Choppers Inc., and also the founder of Sons of Speed. But before we get to that, we want to remind you guys, don't forget, our paint show is Wednesday, March 8th at the Broken Spoke. As you can see right there, if you have a custom paint job, make sure you come on out to our paint show and enter to win. We have a ton of cool prizes to give away.
I mean, plus $1,000 cash.
Yeah,
$1,000 cash. Northern Tools is one of the sponsors, and they've donated some tool sets that will be given away. Western Power Sports will be giving away stuff from Western Power Sports.
Yeah, which I heard that we're getting big items.
I know.
So I'm curious to what these big items are from Western Power Sports. But like you said, Northern Tool, we got a bunch of tool sets, some gift cards, along with a ton of other stuff. CSI is
CSI, one of our sponsors,
is going to be giving us some
sample bottles of
spray detailer.
Detailer.
Yeah.
It's a ceramic spray that CSI makes. It's awesome. All their products are awesome. We've been using all their compounds and waxes, and the stuff works great.
Yep, and then we'll be having some stuff from White Claw. So all you guys that drink White Claw can win some swag, as well as the White Claw girls will be there. So that's Wednesday, March 8th. If you're going to be in Daytona at the Broken Spoke. I don't know if you guys can hear our compressor. I should have shut that off. Yeah. Which I'll go run and shut that off.
We can't stop work while we're on the show.
Oh yeah, true. I can hear them grinding on the other side because we are under the Daytona crunch.
Absolutely, like every year.
Yeah.
Never changes.
So here is our schedule for the Perrowwoods Paint Show. Wednesday, March 8th at the Broken Spoke. Registration 11 to 1. Awards at 4. And then this is our Daytona schedule. So Saturday, March 4th is the Sons of Speed races, which that's what we're going to get to today. Wednesday is our paint show. Thursday is Willie's in the morning. And then DP will be at this show up at Destination, up at...
in the afternoon. And I'll be giving the Best Paint Award at the Bike Show Mafia show at Destination Daytona.
Yeah, so that's Thursday that he will be up there for that. So if any of you guys are in the area and want to come out, make sure you go check that out along with Willie's. And that is on Thursday. So, all right, let's get to our guest. Let's bring on Billy. Hi, Billy.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Bill.
How are you?
We can barely hear you, Billy.
You can't hear me?
The compressor is so loud. I think I can shut it off. Yeah. Which I was going to show this bottle that we got over here, but so how's it going?
Good. If you can't hear me, in my wife's opinion, that's a good thing.
You can't. What? Sorry, we can't. We totally can't hear you.
Is it because of the compressor, or is it?
Okay, now it's better.
We can hear you a little better now.
Okay. I was saying, if you can't hear me, my wife would consider that a benefit to the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, that's she has selective hearing.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to hear you.
Yeah, but don't we have a little selective hearing too, Bill?
I know. I
was gonna say that goes both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see in that background you have a 45. Is that the one eBay's gonna be riding?
Yeah. I had it. I started building it right after Bike Week last year because I didn't really have anything. And then I got the WR engine built by Departure Bike Works, who built the engines that eBay was riding. I think you rode a couple of those bikes too. So,
Yep.
So they say it's a screamer. I took it out. That will definitely scare you.
Just having no brakes scares a lot of people. Never mind if it's fast.
Yeah. I tell everybody the only problem with having no brakes is you can't stop. But eBay Jake doesn't care. He doesn't want to stop. All he wants to do is go, go, go. So
yeah, boy, that's for sure.
I don't think he even notices that he doesn't have brakes.
He just grabbed the primary cover on the ground to slow down. That's how he slows down.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think he ground down the pegs on one of his bikes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he likes those sparks around the corners.
Yeah, but I'm actually going to do some work. I'm doing some things for him so that he can lean it over further. That's why I'm actually having it up on the lift now. I'm just doing a few last minute things so that, just like you, the Daytona Crunch, everybody's doing the Daytona Crunch right now.
Yeah, so those of you guys that are just tuning in, so we're talking about Sons of Speed, which is going to be Saturday, March 4th. So a week from this Saturday. Billy, I heard that this is going to be one of the biggest Sons of Speed, that you guys got a lot of races lined up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the biggest field of racers. It's definitely going to be the best event we've had. I brought Andy George on a year ago. I know you all know Andy. He's been doing amazing. And then on top of bringing him on and all the great work he's been doing.
Sorry, it happens every episode.
But on top of all the great work Andy's been doing, just like you, Northern Tool has come on board with us and Sons of Speed in such a big way that it's really changed the way we can do our event. I mean, all of our sponsors are amazing, but Northern Tool's come on, and I'm sure you would feel this when a big company like that comes in from outside the bike industry. It's just different.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So speaking of Northern Tool, so just to give these welding helmets a little plug, the Patriot right there in the front won the contest, which I might have had a big pot in that helmet.
Yeah.
But Darcy and I were saying that we were wondering if it was because you said that you wanted the Patriot helmet.
That's my favorite out of the three of them. No disrespect to the other two because they were awesome also. Just my preference. So I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I hope whoever picked them picked on their own, but that's what I like. I mean, sometimes what I like isn't what everybody else likes, but definitely that was my favorite one. I think you did a great job on it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, she said that another one, the Flame one, was winning, and then last minute the Patriot
ran away with the win. Yeah,
it took the win. Sounds familiar.
Hey, you guys, I know last time me and Andy were talking, last time we did an interview, my FedEx person was here, and somebody's here right now with a package, so just bear with me for a second because I got to get this. I'm sorry, but I got stuff coming
okay.
Down.
So here, you know what? We'll put. I'm going to put some pictures up here. So here's the lineup from Sons of Speed. There's me, the third one down, then Rusty, then eBay. There's a lineup from Sons of Speed, which, like we said, is Saturday, March 4th at New Smyrna Speedway. Here's some pictures, some cool pictures of Billy out there on the track on one of his bikes. So all you guys that are coming to Daytona, I hope that you're going to be coming to Sons of Speed. Sorry, it's a little slow. Okay, let's go over here to some comments. Let's see, boy, we got a lot of thanks, guys. All these people that are commenting and watching. Doug Robinson, Ed Herringer.
Oh, Ed.
Oh, Ed, yeah.
We shipped your tank out.
Yeah, you should have it probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mary Jane George.
I wonder if that's Andy. Is that Andy's mom? Mary Jane George?
It's not his wife, is it?
No. No.
Richard Young, the dude.
We got a huge audience on here today, Billy.
Good.
Please tell your dad not to sell the Sportster. Yeah, Jeremiah, I agree. Doug Robinson, Mike, yes, I am racing. So, all right, we'll get back to racing. So I'm going to be riding a 1920 Harley Davidson in the board track class, and then a 1929 Indian in the 45 class, which was the state champion in 1930. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty honored to have been asked to ride this bike, as well as it has such good race history. Billy, do you think, is there any other bikes out there with race history?
I think I know the bikes that Michael Lang races have a real racing history. I mean, any WR was a race bike, so it was raced somewhere, but a lot of them were privateer racers versus being famously raced or had most of that history is lost with them. So I don't know of a whole lot, but the great thing, Jody, is that we're making race history now with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
True.
that's for sure.
True. That is, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Awesome. And having Andy involved is such a great deal. Andy is such a good guy, and he's really got it together.
Yeah, he's really been a big asset. Before I brought Andy on, my wife Erin and I were doing everything, and with kids and and trying to have a marriage, and then my business, my main business, which is motorcycles, it was very hard for us to tend to everything. And there was a lot of gaps and a lot of things were falling through the cracks, and we knew it, but we were doing the best we could. But now he's on board, I don't have that excuse. And I think everybody's already noticed the last few events that happened last year that he did a great job. And this year is going to be stellar, because of him and the sponsors that we have. Some of them he's brought on, some of them have come on independently, but we're really, really excited about everything that's happening. Like you're racing, Jody, a 1920 Harley Davidson. Like Competition Distributing is one of our sponsors, and a lot of the parts that they use to build those engines and rebuild them for racing, come from Competition Distributing. Without a company like that, there'd be no resource for new replacement parts.
Yeah.
And we'd be running a lot of old, worn out stuff, hoping it would last, through a few heats.
Yeah, those guys, those are my people. Those guys, they don't get much better than Tom, Sean, and George. I'm honored to be part of their team and be, on Team Comp D.
The
Antique Outlaws.
Yeah,
like I'm really excited to have some fun with them.
They're great. They're a great crew. We're really glad. That's one of the things I love about this is that you guys are involved and it's bringing in great people who are really important to the motorcycle industry, and it's keeping it alive in a way that a lot of other things won't. Did your compressor go back on?
Hold on 1 second, Billy. Sorry. All right, bring your stool. Bring you.
That is great.
Okay.
So
there you go. New position. All right. Change your background.
Yeah, our compressor keeps running. The guys are over on the other side of the shop, so we got to keep them going to get these projects done for Daytona.
I hear you.
There we go, much quieter.
Yeah. Look out, Eva.
But if I can, I'd like to tell all your viewers who are watching a little bit about Sons of Speed in case they don't know. Events like Daytona and Sturgis and Laconia all started out as races, and then they became kind of like a hangout and a pub crawl, and the racing, turned into really import motorcycles and something that the general Harley riding and Indian riding crowd couldn't get into. And I wanted to recreate something at the bike events that would bring the Harley and Indian riding crowd back into motorcycle racing. American Flat Track's done that recently, and I wanted Sons of Speed to do that. So just for people who are watching, we're basically racing vintage motorcycles, Harleys, American motorcycles from 1910 to 1955 on a half-mile banked asphalt track. And it's really fast, which is why we call it Sons of Speed. And I'm just really, really excited about it. And this is our 6th year doing it, and it's growing at a time when the entire motorcycle industry is shrinking. What we're doing is growing, and it says a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Billy, it's awesome. And, all the people that we've brought down there, everybody, can't wait to go back again. Once more people, every year, more and more people are going to come and see just how cool it is.
Yeah.
And, before long, there's going to be a big crowd every race.
Yeah. And something I wanted to announce, mention today. First of all, the fact that you guys, Dave, I've been a fan of yours since I first kickstarted my first Panhead, of your work, really, and when I met Jody was a kid. And, what you guys, obviously I have 3 daughters, and, I hope, well, I don't hope, but whatever they want to do in life, I want them to do it. But I hope that they're going to get to know Jody as they grow up. And I want them to see, how the relationship between a father and daughter, and how a daughter can do something that's outside of a typical female defined role in society, do something completely different and independent and be your own person. I want them to see that. So, I'm really glad you guys are there, because they're going to grow up seeing that. So, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. Well, your girls live in the motorcycle world, really,
Yeah.
And now that you have a son too, which just because you have a son doesn't mean that he's going to inherit the motorcycles. Because that didn't work in our family.
Yeah.
He may become the ballerina. Who knows? I don't know.
Right.
But
it
it's funny.
like your little one, she has quite the personality.
That
Um,
one. If I
yeah.
die younger than I should, it's going to be because of her, for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But something that we're doing this year that's different, and it's because of our sponsors, and particularly Northern Tool. We're broadcasting this event on pay-per-view, and we're doing a live stream. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Yeah, I saw the press release
Okay.
this morning from Darcy. So that is really cool because there's so many people that are fans of all three of us that have asked me like, oh, how can I watch the races? Is it broadcasted? Can I look back on, watch it after? Like, and I'm gonna like, hey, I'm gonna try to do a live broadcast. Like, and I can't, it's so hard that in our instance, DP really can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much left up to me, but I'm too busy and so it's hard. So that is so cool. I'm so glad to hear that. That's gonna bring so much more to the races too.
Yeah, absolutely. It just helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and we have Jason Hallman is going to announce the race, and then he's going to be assisted with the live stream that we're doing and the broadcast by Kyle Petty from NASCAR. Who I'm sure everybody watching knows who Kyle Petty is. So we're just really, really excited about this, and it's something that we couldn't do without Northern Tool being involved. And it's just one of the things that is elevating what we're doing. And we naturally want as many people as we can have come to the track. We want to meet them. We want them to smell the motorcycles and see them go and feel the ground vibrate when they go. But for the people that can't, who for whatever reason, whether it's health, finances, or geography, maybe in another country, can now be a part of what we're doing on Watch Us Do It. So we're really, really excited about it.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I was literally FaceTiming with Kyle, and he goes, "Hey, you're going to Daytona, right?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, I'm racing." And he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I know that." He goes, "You do the antique racing, right?" And I said, "Yeah, it's wicked cool." I'm like, "Kyle, you should come to it." He goes, "I am." He literally was like, "I am." And we went back and forth about it, and I was telling him how cool it is. He is so excited to come to these races because, obviously racing's in his blood and motorcycles. And this is something he's never done. Like he's never been a part of. Like he is psyched. And then I actually just saw him at the Daytona 500 this past weekend. And I was like, "Hey, I'll see you next week." He's like, "I can't wait." So it's cool to have somebody of his status coming out to this and being excited and hopefully bringing his audience as well. So Northern Tool is really stepping it up. They're making things happen that hopefully this event grows hugely.
Yeah, and he's, besides his status and the people that are fans of his racing over the years and his family's legacy, he's an amazing announcer.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
He's
sure.
funny. He's funny. He's like witty. Like on the Kyle Petty ride, I laughed so many times where I was like, "Man, he is like on it. He's funny."
Yeah, so we're real excited about it. One of the other things we're doing is when we really resisted sponsorships up to the really last year because we didn't want what we're doing is outlaw racing. We're trying to keep it outlaw and trying to keep it pure, and so we really resisted sponsorships. But we've been very selective of who we bring on board. But bringing sponsors on board brings the people they know and the people they can bring in their wake, Kyle being one of them. And, like we have Law Tigers now and just because we have them involved, they are so dialed into the motorcycle community. And then it's allowing us now to give like cash purse to our racers, which we really couldn't afford to do before.
What, you giving away a cash purse?
Yes. So you got to win. Check your flag and you own it. You get.
Whoa.
No kidding.
So I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, and Bobby Seega just saw it at my house because I have it hanging up in one of my rooms. The flag that I won, the checkered flag, and it's all embroidered. And he goes, "Where did you get this?" And I go, "I won that." He goes, "That was one of the trophies?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool, huh?" He's like, "That's wicked cool." And I said, "I don't think you've ever done that before."
Yeah, we hadn't done it. We've been wanting to do it again, and we've been trying to find someone that can do the artwork right and do it like for a reasonable price. They were really expensive, you know. So
I don't doubt it. It's a nice flag.
yeah, and we were trying to do it for this event, but you know, Bobby, for people who don't know, Bobby Seeger runs Indy Larry Legacy, who's also one of the sponsors for Sons of Speed.
He's doing the trophies.
Yeah, but right, exactly. They're doing handmade trophies for us for this event. I something just came in the mail. I'm gonna check this out. I was trying to get these for the trophies. Have you seen these?
Oh wow!
Oh, those are pretty cool.
Who does those?
So it's a piston. It's a guy. His company's called Piston Face.
Is
and
that like a
really?
bullet in his mouth?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Isn't
very
it?
cool.
and so he's on Instagram. I follow him, and it's just like we are. He's a craftsman. This is his side hustle, but he's a craftsman who hand makes pistons. And I was trying to get these for the event, and he's one guy with a family, so he doesn't have the time to do it. But this is just what came in the mail. But you know, we do have Indy Larry Legacy making handmade trophies. You know, we'll be able to give those out along with a cash prize, and you know, we're just really, really grateful for how much everything's grown and how amazing the event is. And you know, for anybody who's going to be in the Daytona area, even if you're not going to Bike Week, if you want to spend a few great hours on a Saturday, come out to Sons of Speed Saturday, March 4th, because it's just, there's nothing like it. I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So back to the Daytona 500, a couple of the guys that I was with at the Daytona 500, they live in New Smyrna, and they're not motorcycle guys, but they're going to come to the races, you know? And I was like, you know, building up, and they're like, oh, that sounds so cool. And, you know, I don't want to say they didn't have anything to do or anything, but they were like, all right, yeah, we'll come out. We'll fit it in and make it happen. And they were like pumped about it. Cause you know, I kept bringing it up in just in regular conversation about, you know, how cool it is. And that's the thing. You might not even be a motorcycle person, but to come out and see 100-year-old motorcycles going around in circles. Did we lose you, Billy?
Yeah, for a minute.
Sorry.
Probably about a minute there.
Yeah, our internet is funky here, and I don't know if it's because it's raining and snowing out, but sorry.
What's the temperature down there, Bill?
It's in the 80s. It's so warm. I mean,
Oh yeah. It's in the low 30s here.
Yeah.
I miss the cold though. I'll tell you, we've had a couple of cold, you know, cooler days, but I miss the cold a lot. I don't, you know, not your cold. Your kind of cold is too much for me, but I miss the Tennessee cold.
So a couple of people actually are on here asking, so you moved back to Florida, and they're asking whereabouts, where in Florida are you?
I moved back to Melbourne, Florida, which is Central Florida on the East Coast, you know, just dead east of Orlando, 90 miles south of Daytona, which, you know, it's, I'm literally, I think, a mile and a quarter from where my old shop used to be when we did Biker Build Off back in the days.
That's what I was going to say, back to where your roots are.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, the good thing about it is, I mean, I'm not even about an hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes from New Smyrna Speedway. So I get to go up there quite a bit again now and get my rocks off on the track.
No, that's great.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah. And then, you know, I mean, like, Giuseppe's Steel City Pizza, you know, is right there. And Port Orange are one of our sponsors too. And I can go up there and, you know, eat lunch with them or have dinner with them. We bring the kids up because they became like family to us when we lived in the Daytona area. So, and they, you know, provide the food at Sons of Speed. So, it's nice being back. I mean, I miss a lot of things about Tennessee, but it's nice being back here too. And I can ride every day without having to, I used to have 2 full sets of riding gear, one at home and one at work, because you never knew how wet or how cold you were going to get, so
Yeah.
I had gear on either end.
So we have somebody on here, Dan. He says, I'm coming out from New Mexico. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you're getting people from all over.
Yeah.
Going to be coming out to the races.
Dan, you're going to love it. If you haven't been, I mean, it's really, you're going to be blown away by how fast these bikes are and how hard the riders ride, and the rivalries that build up and stuff. The rivalries are getting good. I mean, and the bikes are getting so fast. It's really a great event. You're going to have a great time. We're glad you're going to join it.
Yeah, it's amazing how much speed the bikes have increased since the beginning, huh?
Oh, it blows me away. Every time I go out there on a practice day, I'm like, they're faster than they were last year, and I think a lot of it is because of that track. That track is, until we started racing Sons of Speed, they were racing basically on flat tracks, and the speed is just considerably slower.
Yeah.
And now, people are starting to realize, okay, I can use a longer duration cam, a higher lift cam, and figuring out the little things that, the gearing and stuff that works on the track. And like with this one here, I'm curious to see how fast I get it going. I had it going in the high 80s on a straightaway a few weeks ago, and it was pretty frightening.
How bad? Yeah.
That curve.
So eBay will get it like 90s.
Oh, probably well over that. And I don't even have it geared fast right now. I had it geared for me so I didn't get myself into trouble. I can't ride as good as he can, so I had it geared where I thought I could manage it, but I'm going to have to change the sprockets on it the next couple of days for him. But
I'm glad that you mentioned speed, because, a lot of times people, when I say, we're out there on 100-year-old motorcycles with no brakes, and they kind of like, yeah. And then I say, well, we're going like 75 miles an hour out there. And they're like, whoa, like, totally changes people's opinion. Because when you think of a 100-year-old motorcycle, that you don't think you're going that fast, never mind, with no brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I just recently did this, and I forgot actually to tell you. I had a GoPro or my helmet cam footage, and I timed it, how long it took me. And of course, practice is never the same as a race. So I actually used a race, and I can't remember exactly what the time was, maybe 25 seconds. Does that sound about right? And it backed it out to be like 71 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was like, that's moving on that was on the 1919, on a board track bike.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, we're moving out there, and those 45s, some of those guys, they are flying.
Right. So like on New Smyrna Speedway, it's a half mile. So a 30-second lap would be 60 miles an hour. And now the fast bikes are leaning way down in the spectrum toward a 20-second, 20-second plus laps versus the 30-second laps. So they're going really, really fast. And that's just the average time. They're going a lot faster in a straightaway, throttling down a little bit for the curves, and then coming right back up again. It's getting fast. I'm so excited about it. And, I hope you get yourself another checker flag. I always love
Me too. Oh, Billy, I want it so bad. I've been so close the last 3 races. It's like I've been right there, and then my bike breaks.
Yeah.
Literally, I think the last 3 times, it's 3 races, it's happened to me where, I mean, at least I can say it's not me, it's the motorcycle, but still I'm like, oh, I'm right there. Yep. I want it so bad, but we'll see.
That raises an interesting point. So a lot of people that don't know, these bikes that we're racing were meant to go 20, 30 miles an hour on a gravel road. They were made in the teens, 20s, 30s, and there was no interstate highway system back then, and it was country roads basically people were driving them on. They were just made to get you there. They weren't made to go fast. And to run them the way we're running them, they don't last very long running them as hard as we do. So people don't realize, you run 3 or 4 or 5 heats in a day on one of those bikes as hard as we're running them. I mean, that's more wear and tear than they get in a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, they're not built to hold up to that. So I mean, we're pushing it as it is. Never mind, like you said, that's a little bit where there's 2 days of practice. Both of these bikes I haven't even ridden yet, so I'm antsy to get on them. But I also don't want to push them too hard because I want them to last on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's when I want game on.
I mean, a lot of it has, people also don't realize, in the teens and 20s and 30s, you didn't buy gas at a gas station. You bought gas at a drugstore or at a hardware store or at a feed store. And it wasn't uniform. You might get it was leaded gas, and the octane rating was much lower than it is now. So you might get 40 octane gasoline on Sunday, and then on Thursday you might get 60 octane gasoline, and there was no continuity to the fuel. And the same with the oils. Like now we're running Z-Max oil on all our bikes, and that oil is so good. It's so much better than what you could get when these motorcycles were manufactured. It allows, it's technological advances like in the oils, and then even in the consistency of the fuel we're running with we're using a fuel additive too to boost the octane. Just regular pump gas, but with an octane booster that allows you to run these bikes consistently at this level. I mean, it's just something you couldn't do even 30 years ago when the oil hadn't advanced like it has now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And back to like what you said about going faster. I think that in the beginning, like when I first started racing, we were fast, but there was a bigger group of guys out there that just wanted to say they raced, whether it was they have a race bike, they say that they raced in Billy Lane's race, whatever it was, they weren't competitive. There was only like a handful of us that were competitive. Now it's the opposite. There's a whole lot more guys out there that are competitive. Like you've drawn in the real races, and the crazy chucks, are kind of like getting swept out because they can't keep up. So there's definitely still two different kinds of races out there, but I mean we just keep getting faster and faster, and you got to be on your toes to keep up.
Yeah, it's I'm so excited to see what happens next week when we race. I mean, we're racing basically 9 days from now, something like that. So I'm going out early week and gonna take one of my older bikes out and run it and I might run it on race day, but I'm really excited to get out there and see how fast everybody is.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're looking forward to it. So
yeah,
our broadcast next week, I'm going to be doing it live from like the pits and with Sean and Tom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we'll go live. All you guys watching, we're going to go live during practice next Thursday during the races to give people a preview of what's to come on Saturday.
Yeah, so that'll be so cool because we can talk about this the whole time. We can talk about it, we can explain everything, but there's nothing like being there.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being there, it's just so cool.
We have some new sponsors on board. I don't know. You guys know, do you guys know 1620 Workwear? They're up near you guys. I think they're in Connecticut or up somewhere up in New England.
Oh, really?
With them?
No, I don't think so.
they're
we just wear sweatshirts to work.
Yeah. They're new and they haven't been. I'm excited for not only to have them on board because they make the event better, but then for them to come and see what they're investing in. I'm real excited.
Yeah.
Journey Biker. Cool. You guys know we always pray in the beginning of the race and everything, and because what we do is super, super dangerous, and like White Knuckler brand knives. Have you seen the White Knuckler brand knives?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You probably got them because you're doing the Michael Lichter event.
I do. Yeah, I think I have two of those.
Yeah. Well, you get ready to get a third probably. We're doing Sons of Speed knives, so we're just excited about everything that's happening. All of a sudden, with Andy coming on board, Northern Tool, powering us, the live stream with Kyle Petty. I mean, in a time when the motorcycle industry is shrinking like it is, Sons of Speed is exploding, and I, like, again, I want to thank you guys. You've been there. I mean, Jody, you remember before I even started Sons of Speed, I picked a handful of people I wanted to start, and you were one of the first people I asked.
I was thinking about that earlier today of when it was, and I was in Italy, literally in Rome, talking to you on the phone about Sons of Speed, and I was so excited, like thinking like, man, this is going to be so cool, like getting into the old bikes and circle track racing, like thinking, man, this, and I know it, I feel like, did it take you like a year for it to get going after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was like, man, this is cool. This is going to be a cool thing. And, obviously took a minute for it to catch on, and now I'm so glad that it's got some full steam. And back to like the sponsors, I know Darcy, she's never been to it as well. And so for you guys listening, Darcy is the one that runs the Northern Tool part of it. And so it's going to be really cool for her to be there. If she's putting this much effort into it without even seeing it, wait till she sees it.
Yeah. And and Northern Tool does a thing. It's a really great program they do called Tools for the Trade. And they go into schools and help kids that are into vocation. They provide them with the things that Northern Tool sells, which is the things that we use to make things. And they go into the schools and help these kids out, supply them and also show them how to do stuff. So they have some kids from Tools for the Trades coming with us on Friday, which is the practice day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And they're going to be trackside with us, and we're going to be able to interact with them and kind of show them what we do and how we use what Northern Tools does, and I've been a Northern Tool. I've bought stuff from them since I was a kid, since I was young. And, so anyhow, it's great because we're going to be able to show them and get them, a whole younger generation of people involved in American motorcycles and racing and just the lifestyle. And you know how it is. I mean, helping each other out, how much we all help each other out. We're going to be able to kind of show them that this is what we do and how we do it. Real excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other racing community that helps each other out more than the motorcycle community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when we raced at Bonneville, I mean, a guy would break his chassis, another guy would blow up his motor, and the guy that had the good motor would give the other guy his chassis. I mean, it was really, everybody was there to help each other.
Yeah. I almost think that it's a little bit because it's not so sponsored and there's not a lot of money and you're not winning money, because I think almost winning money makes it a little more, where you're not so friendly. So,
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm not going to give you this because then if you win, so I almost think that it's good that it's smaller. You're racing because you want to, not because you're going to make money at it.
Right.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. But also, I saw Darcy commented on here, and she said that it's going to be live. It's not on pay-per-view. That people will be able to watch it on your YouTube.
Yeah, for people who don't know, I've been over the last, it's almost going on a year now. I've been really focusing on YouTube, and which is great. I love it, and have built a pretty nice little following there. And I haven't posted a video in several months until just a few days ago, because I've been moving from Tennessee to Florida, and that's been a nightmare beyond belief. But generally posting every week, posting videos every week. And so anyhow, I've gotten 11 plus million views in the last, 8 months or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to broadcast a live stream on my YouTube channel. So it should be live, or I think with a slight delay, but as the event's going on. So pretty excited about that. So people who would like to watch it live, who can't make it to the event, we just go ahead and watch it on the Billy Lane YouTube channel. Just, go on YouTube and look for my name, or just Google Billy Lane YouTube and it'll come up. And I think all the Kyle Petty, that stuff is going to go live with him and Jason Hallman calling the race. I think they're going to have somebody trackside walking up and down, switching back and forth between the races and what's happening in the pits. So, we're really excited about this development that's just, happened in the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's Darcy said that it's going to be on Next Level Sports and Entertainment for all you guys watching. So if they don't watch it via your YouTube, then go to Next Level Sports and Entertainment. But I'm sure people will be able to find it. We'll post links, I know, on our page, I'm sure as well as you will, so that people that aren't physically at the track on Saturday, March 4th, they can still watch it live.
Yep. And then we're filming a whole bunch of stuff to use on my YouTube and possibly someplace else that is kind of like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that happens that, some of it's, obviously there's a lot happening at New Smyrna Speedway on race day. So 3 or 4 cameras can't capture all of it. So we're going to be getting our own stuff. I love to interview you, Jody and Dave, at the track, and have them ask you questions and talk to you about it, because, even though we're doing this today, like something that we can package to show people.
Yeah.
This is going to be this event's going to be unforgettable. It's going to be the best one, and the events have all been great. This one's going to be the best of them all, and just almost can't even wait to get down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so
No.
it's going to be the best one until the next one happens.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the goal, is to always get better, and that's what we've done. I mean, there's a few people who've been there since day one, and Sons of Speed started off small, and it's grown and grown and grown, and but what hasn't been important is the growth so much as how much better it's gotten every time. We've learned from it, and we've just really turned it into, it's a pretty polished event now that, but it's still outlaw racing, and we still make our own rules. Jody, there's, for people who don't know, these bikes, like especially the board track bikes, are direct drive with no clutch. So once the engine is running, the bike is going. You can't stop it unless it takes you a while to stop it. So we start pacing like they do in IndyCar and NASCAR. And if a bike isn't ready to go out on the track for some reason, the rest of the racers have to wait for that bike to catch up. And we've stopped races and restarted races, so that a lot of racing, you would just be disqualified from that heat. But because it's outlaw racing, we make our own rules. We just do what we want. And that's a big part of what makes it so fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is. So yeah, it's cool for people to know. So not only no brakes, but we don't have any gears.
Yeah.
So, push to start. And to be honest, I don't know what the board track bike that I'm going to be riding, but the last one that I rode, it had a kill switch. So that was my slowing down. I'd shut it off, then let the button up, and it would stop back up again, to try to get myself to the pits, without coming in hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like, there's so much to it that people got to go and see it.
Yeah.
You got to be there.
Yep. Saturday, March 4th, everybody. You can go on billylane.net and get tickets. You can buy tickets right there at the gate. We recommend you get them early because you don't have to stand out in the line to get them at the gate. There's going to be a line to get in. This event, our sales have been better than any of the other ones, so we know we're going to have a good crowd out there on race day.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome. So all you guys, again, that's billylane.net if you guys want to buy tickets to the races now. So it'll save you some time when you get to the gate, because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people buying them that day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Hey, and if I can, one last thing I'd like to mention before I let you guys go. Dave and I did a biker build-off 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago. Boy, time goes by, huh?
I feel old. Never mind you guys.
We started filming it right after Bike Week. I think it was, I know we ended up, finishing the show at the Dallas Easy Rider Show in April of 2003.
Yeah.
So I think we started in March, right after Bike Week. And we're done in April.
I think it was actually February because it was snowing here. Remember, we had
that's when we were filming, but
Yeah.
the actual build-off,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Because we had a huge snowstorm here that year.
Yeah. I was fashionably late. But it's a memorable show. And, I'm doing on my YouTube. You mentioned my YouTube channel. I'm doing last year I did one about the first biker build off that we did with Roger Bourget. It did really, really well. People loved it. So, I'm doing one about the build off with you, Dave. I'd love to spend a few minutes with you and include you in that while you're in Daytona, because I don't know when I'll see you again this year.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yeah, you should make a point to do that.
Yeah. And then, your perspective is super, super important, because I can say anything I want to say about it, but I know you had a different viewpoint on it, and I'm sure Jody's input would be valuable too. And, I've been talking to Hugh King a lot, who was the producer on those shows. And Hugh was also going to kick in on this episode, because he had a third perspective that, is different than yours and mine. And then later this year, I'm going to do another YouTube episode about the Indian Larry build off we did, because we did two in 2003. We did one with you in April, and then Larry in August of 2003, which is 20 years ago. So anyhow, I'm really excited to see you and talk to you about that. I think it'll be really, really great. That was a big moment for the bike industry and for all of us. I'm sure, it kind of changed things for me. Definitely.
It definitely changed it for the bike industry.
I mean, that build off was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
To be on the road like we were,
Yeah.
with all our friends, I had my whole family. Jody was riding. My son was riding. You know, it was just what an experience. You know, I mean, when we were riding into Dallas, it was like we wanted to keep going. We didn't want to stop. You know,
it's like bittersweet because you
Yeah.
don't want it to be over, but you know it's
yeah.
there. Oh, did we lose? Now that time was you. That time was
Yeah,
you.
whoever had this phone number before me applied for a home equity loan through like Rocket Mortgage or somebody, or Lending Tree, and I have been getting 50 to 75 calls a day now, and trying to sell me a mortgage that I don't need. So it's nonstop with this.
Yeah,
thing.
you definitely don't need a mortgage.
Yeah.
No. I've already got one that is a pleasure.
Yeah. So all right then. So people, your YouTube is just Billy Lane, or is it Choppers Inc?
No, it's just Billy Lane YouTube.
Okay.
You know, on Instagram, I'm choppers.inc, and I think on Facebook, I'm like Billy Lane and Choppers Inc. But you know how it is, you Google my name and the stuff will come up, and the YouTube video, the YouTube is really strong. So when you type in my name, the stuff comes up right away. So, but I'd love to spend time with you guys and talk about what we did 20 years ago, because I mean, definitely changed my life, and you know, it's part of the reason I'm still here doing this today is because, you know, we did that with you guys. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, no problem. We maybe Friday.
Yeah, DP
You know,
will
after
be there
practice
Friday.
or something.
that would be great.
Yeah, which my Aunt Phoebe is coming to the races for the first time too, so I'm psyched because
Good.
you know she's like my mentor and she's like
Yeah.
my best friend and everything. And she was on that Discovery ride. Me and her was switching off on a new V Rod.
Yeah,
It was when the V Rod first came out.
Yeah,
So you know
yeah.
she took one from her dealership and we shared it, which I found we had more fun driving the truck than we did riding, picking people up as they broke down. But I know she's really looking forward to the races and seeing you, and you know, because I talk about it so much, and so for her to come out, and you know, she loves Tom and Sean, so we're really looking forward to it. I can't wait. I can't wait to get down there.
Good. Well, Sons of Speed, Saturday, March 4th, powered by Northern Tool, New Smyrna Speedway, Daytona Beach during Daytona Bike Week. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I hope everybody watching can make the effort to come down there and watch us. If not, watch it on the live stream on my Billy Lane YouTube channel. And thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Billy.
That's great. And you know, there's nothing like being there in person.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
All right, so we will see you in a week.
I'll see you there. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, guys. So that was our show for today. Huge shout out to Billy Lane. His race is Saturday, March 4th. If any guys want to come out to it, which you should, you can get your tickets ahead of time at billylane.net. Here it is right here. It's powered by Northern Tool, which we are fans of Northern Tool as well. They are sponsoring our Perowitz Paint Show, which is Wednesday, March 8th at the Broken Spoke. So I hope you guys are going to come out to both of those events, Wednesday, March 8th, and then Saturday, then Wednesday. So huge shout out to Northern Tool. We have some awesome prizes for our paint show, as well as you've been painting the
we've
trophy,
got,
which we're
a
going to
lot
show.
of really cool hand-painted trophies. There's nothing like winning a hand-painted trophy in a Perowitz Paint Show.
Yeah,
that's something to be remembered.
as well as $1,000.
Right, $1,000 cash prize for the best paint.
Yeah, so that's Wednesday, March 8th is the Perowitz Paint Show, Billy Lane's Sons of Speed races, which I will be racing 2 motorcycles with Competition Distributing, aka the Antique Outlaws. So I am psyched to race with Tom and Sean and racing these 2 bikes. One's a board track, the other is a 45, an Indian that has a huge amount of race history. So I'm honored to be able to bring this bike back out to the track 93 years later and ride it. And hopefully, man, fingers crossed that I can get a checkered flag. So big shout out to Indian Motorcycles and Law Tigers for sponsoring Chopper History today. And next Thursday, we will be live from the track. So make sure you guys tune in next Thursday.
And we'll see you in Daytona.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in Daytona. Catch us next week. Thanks for tuning in.